Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Avengers 60th anniversary, 60 years of Earth's Mightiest. This is the Beyond the Earth's Mightiest premium line, anniversary line for the year. It's pretty crazy that they're all supposed to be like summertime. You know, we've always seen in past, like July, you might see some kind of trickle in. But it's always planned for like that August time frame, like release dates everywhere. It's like August 1st. But this year seems to be a lot earlier. And places are getting them in June. Big Bad Toy Store had gotten some, but Canada has been getting like all of them, minus the store exclusives, right? The Black Widow, Bucky Cap. But ToySnowman.com, they're a Canadian-based retailer. They've got pretty much all of them so far. The ones that are, you know, available everywhere and everything. So I got this Hawkeye with Sky Cycle. I got the Grey Hulk and Bruce Banner. I also got the Captain Marvel and Doctor Doom set. So make sure to head over to ToySnowman.com. Get all your Marvel Legends needs, your Black Series, your G.I. Joe Classified Series, your import needs, all of that you can get on ToySnowman.com. I'll have a link in the video description below. It's a referral link. It gets you a 5% off coupon code for first-time buyers, so make sure to check out ToySnowman.com. But here we have the Hawkeye with Sky Cycle. This one has been like years in the making. It's been rumored that this guy was going to come out in the Riders line, and then it just never happened. And now, finally, here we have him, the Hawkeye with Sky Cycle. So here we have it. You see the 3D render. You see the Hawkeye artwork on the back. You see some Hawkeye artwork on the side there. Let's take a look at the figure on the back. And here you see everything that comes with an arrow, the bow, the arrow, hands, quiver, and the Sky Cycle with the stand. So I've already emptied the box, and I've kind of taken this out already to kind of show you how everything is placed in there. So there's going to be some assembly required and everything like that. So I'll get everything out of these little paper bags and lay it all out, and then we'll piece together the Sky Cycle, because I'm not sure exactly how it goes. I don't think there's instructions, so we'll figure it out on camera. Hopefully I don't have any problems. Okay, so I have everything laid out here. So we got a couple of different pieces. Obviously the stand, the Sky Cycle, the base of the Sky Cycle, the windshield, and then we have Hawkeye's accessories. So we'll actually get the accessories out of the way. We'll get Hawkeye out of the way. And by the way, this figure is really damn nice. The pinless, the torso that is sculpted specifically for Hawkeye and will be used on nobody else. This figure is really nice. We got the soft goods in there so he can actually ride the Sky Cycle. Yeah, this figure is awesome. So just to get that out of the way. There are, in fact, no accessories to this guy, but I think we can figure out really how to kind of position the Sky Cycle the way it's supposed to be. So we got a ball peg here. We got a port there, so obviously it's got to go that way, right? And that's the bottom we should be seeing, I assume. Because if you're going to want to have some detail onto it. Plus, actually, the way it fits, because you can see the key in there, so it ports in like so. And then that ball peg, you should just snap it in place. Bam! So there is the base to the Sky Cycle. The windshield, we got like this clear, translucent plastic little key there. It looks like it's just going to key in. Not like that. Like that. Just like that. And just slides right on in. And boom! You have the Sky Cycle. It seemed much more complicated when it was in the box than actually taking the pieces out and looking at it. Because now, oh my god, well that's easy as shit. Here we have this stand. I'm not a fan of this stand. I actually don't like it at all. This stand is the same that came with the Demo Goblin Build-A-Figure. This stand has been used, I believe, with Black Series for the Biker Scout. It's not great. I want to say it was used on something else, Marvel Legends, but now I can't remember. But there are other type of stands that they have that work so much more effective, because what happens is when you try and peg this into whatever vehicle, you begin to stress out the plastic, and it'll begin to bend, and it's not good. And the way it's designed, right, you use the ball peg, so you can have the stand that way, you can have the stand that way, you can have the stand that way, so it gives you the different heights that you might want depending on how much space, you know, on your shelf to the next shelf. So it kind of works out that way. So you can have it at its highest point like that, which we will go ahead and try. I don't know if that's actually going to be in camera view. But again, because you have to force the ball peg in there, it's very easy to stress out the plastic. Now, what you want to do is kind of go in this back and forth motion to try and get it in there so you're not bending and stressing out the plastic. But see, that doesn't... Yeah, this is why I don't like this stand, because it's so thin there. And then depending on how you have it, so I can have it like that, and it barely holds the weight. Like, it wants to fall back quite a bit. So the stand, again, you would have to have it certain ways to get the stand to really work out, but it can. So there's that one at that height. Let's go to this one here. There's that one at that. See, but then you see how it's like off-centered, right? So if you have it, oh, surprisingly holds pretty well. But if you tap it, it'll fall over. But look, actually that holds. You know, if you want to do like a turn, that's the one you want to do because the counterbalance, right? That could work out. And then the other one, this one's a little bit lower. This one's nice forward. It holds pretty well. You know, if you're kind of going up in a upwards in the trajectory motion, it holds really well there as well. So I mean, the stand is effective. I just don't like that the plastic is thin and starts to stress out when you really want to peg it in. But other than that, it's good. But now let's go ahead and take a closer look at Hawkeye. Okay, so here's Hawkeye. Hawkeye is all new. Well, I don't want to say all new. All new compared to the two previous Hawkeye figures that we have in, you know, the similar outfit. But he's going to have the Vulcan legs. These boots are probably the same ass old pirate boots that we've had forever and ever. The feet look similar to Bucky Cap, but they have a normal human size compared to the tiny child size that the Bucky Cap feet were. The forearms, I don't know if these gauntlet pieces are actually going to be new or not. They may have been reused, but these are going to be the Vulcan arms where they can swap out these pieces at the forearm. So it's not actually like a separate piece over the arm or anything. These bands are removable, so they were like this on the figure. You just have to kind of force them up, so they're kind of in place. We got this strap here. It is not connected to the quiver whatsoever. As you can see, the quiver is actually going to port in the back and has nothing to do with the strap there. The soft goods of this skirt portion here, you can see it is all the same piece, so it'll move around with it, and you can see right in between that waistline, it's kind of in between. So it probably just like goes over a peg with a hole in the middle, and it holds in place. The blues match pretty nicely. The purple matches pretty nicely. It's obviously not going to be 100% perfect because you're looking at cloth versus, you know, what you would see in the sculpt of it and everything. The torso is all new sculpted torso piece. So these purple straps here, that's actually part of the sculpt. It looks like they're keyed into the plastic, so it's not like paint or anything. They're separate pieces, which always makes it look better because you don't get the ugly paint where they have the risk of paint bleed somewhere or the color's not really looking good. They are separate pieces, which is really nice, and you can see it moves with the ab crunch there. So it's just done really nice. The head sculpt is nice. The mask really flares out. You get some wrinkles in the mask as well, which is a nice touch. Yeah, just came out looking really, really, really nice. Awesome figure for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at Hawkeye's accessories, and then we'll take a look at his articulation. So the quiver, this quiver is old as shit. We've seen it so many times now. Every Hawkeye figure has come with this, including the one way back when in the Rocket Raccoon Build-A-Figure wave, this Clinton Barton Hawkeye. It is the same quiver. I don't have that quiver out with me now, but it is the same exact quiver that even came with this figure, and I don't even know if this guy was the first to use it. He may have been, but it's the same quiver, the same one. And I think the MCU ones use the same thing too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's old, but you know, I guess it works. It would just be nice to get something new at this point. I mean, even Yondu came with the same exact one, didn't he? We get that same arrow that Yondu had came with there. It does match the arrows that are in the quiver, as you could see there. So nothing special going on there. Here we have the bow. You get a little bit of stretch in that plastic, not a whole lot, just kind of gold with black paint for the handle. And then hands, on the figure out of the package, we got a fist for the left, we have a grip hand for the right, and then we also get a left grip hand and a right fist. So those are his accessories. Now let's go ahead and look at his articulation. Okay, so Hawkeye's articulation. The head is on a disc hinge, so he can look up a good amount. He can look down a great amount, so that is awesome. You get a full rotation in there, and I just popped that head right off there because it seemed to come off way too easily. But there we go. Full rotation. Not really any pivot going on in there, though. So just the heads up on that. The arm you can get to go on out like so. You get a full rotation in that arm. There is a bicep butterfly joint in there, which I did not realize until literally just now, because the way that this, because I wasn't paying close enough attention to the back, but you do get the butterfly joint, which is great for an archer, right? So you can get it to go back that much. Unfortunately, though, the way this armor piece here is, you're not going to get any crossbody going in front, so it does not become as useful to the front, always to the back. And it seems like, you know, when it comes to the butterfly joints, you do get the upper bicep swivel in there. You do get a double jointed pinless elbow, so you get that much bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. They all have the standard horizontal hinge on there, full swivel. We have the ab crunch on Hawkeye, so he can crunch forward that much, fair amount, I would say. He can go back that much, which is good. You got the waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. He can't kick forward that far. The leg goes back, doesn't really go back, or maybe ever so slightly. You got the upper thigh cut in there. Pinless double jointed knee, which that lower knee is a little stiff and damn near frozen. I'm getting it, but see, look at that. I'm pulling that leg. I hate having to warm up figures. I feel like that's something that we should have to do. I don't like that. Anyway, get that much bend there on the double jointed knee, the pinless knee, which is good. You do get the boot swivel there. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge going up, ankle pivot pegals at the bottom of the feet. So Vulcan body does not disappoint, although sometimes it may be a little stiff to our liking. You may have to warm it up a little bit, which I feel like we should not have to do, but in some cases it may be necessary to avoid breakage. I hate that though. But yeah, there is the Hawkeye figure looking really damn good, and let's go ahead and place the quiver on his back. And boom. We have our Hawkeye. Let's put the bow in his hand. Oh, it looks like some of that. Oh, shit. So careful when putting it into his hand, because some of that black paint is already kind of rubbing off. I see it on his fingers already. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, there we go with Hawkeye and his accessories. Next up, we're going to see Hawkeye on the Sky Cycle. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get ready to set up Hawkeye. By the way, guys, I was super wrong on the arms. These gauntlet pieces do come out. Whoops. I totally thought they were a separate piece sculpted on there. I figured that out when I was swapping the hands so I can have the 2 grip hands so he can grip the handlebars. That is not a separate cut piece. So these are clearly not exactly the Vulcan arms entirely. My bad, guys. Okay, let's see how we're going to kind of get this Hawkeye onto the Sky Cycle, because he does have to get his legs spread apart fair amount on there. He can basically sit anywhere. Now, my understanding is that this was from a video game. I don't know what the game was. I never played this game. My apologies for not knowing that in advance. I think Captain America may have also rode this as well. Again, and I can't even confirm that. I will take a closer look at the Sky Cycle after we get Hawkeye on there, but I wanted to kind of get that, get it ready and set up first before we moved on to like putting them on there. Damn, these knees. Now it's the upper knee on this other leg. Hold on, I'm going to have to work on that a bit more. Okay, there we go. There we have it. We got Hawkeye on the Sky Cycle, and he grips nicely. For the most part, his feet can kind of go flat on the base there, and he sits on there. And, you know, based on the length, he does sit on this kind of this front seat portion. You could get him a little bit closer if you bend the elbows and things like that. So you could have somebody riding with him if that's the case based on that video game. I couldn't tell you for sure. But it looks really good. You can, you know, position the head, of course, in certain angles to where, you know, he's looking straight out as you're kind of doing it, which is nice. So you can get it. So I guess, you know, with the stand, I gave the stand some shit. And again, I think it's warranted because of the stress to the plastic. But what you can do with the stand is a much better benefit. So as much shit as I give the stand, it is the best way to properly have this, because then you can get it again into all these different poses. So if you're doing photography and you could do things with backgrounds and stuff like that, this will really work out in your favor, because you want to be able to do different flying angles, you know, if he's getting into turns and things like that. Now the handlebars don't turn or anything like that, so you just have to imagine, you know, if he's leaning to one side, that's how he would turn. But yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. I really like the way it came out looking. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Sky Cycle, because there are some nice details on one side. Well, I guess both sides. But it's not anything super crazy. There's really no paint. There's very little to it. but it does look pretty good. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, so taking a better look at the Sky Cycle here, you could see, I guess, what would be kind of a grill front vent there. You have the base, the windshield just kind of circular, but you do get these panel line type things there in the front. The seat is brown in color. It's just like a separate plastic piece that's on top. You do get a couple screws on this side. This side you actually get some exhaust pipes that come out the side. That's kind of the big difference between the two sides. Looking at kind of the engine portion, there's some decent sculpted detail in there. Nothing too crazy or anything, but it does look good. And then we get a little bit of green or like yellow spray, and it kind of has a gradient look to it to kind of represent like the blaster effect as it's flying. So that is pretty cool. The underside of the Sky Cycle has a lot of detail in there, and it's something that will be hardly seen, but lots of nice sculpted detail in there. It does look really good. I like it. It's all done just kind of in this dark grayish plastic color, so there's very, very little paint to it again. You know, the inside of these burners, kind of the black on the outside there, black for the handlebars, and then we do get some stuff kind of on the dash there, like an odometer or whatever exactly it is, and let's go ahead and get in for a better look at that. So it does look like a speedometer kind of thing. We do get a little bit of blue, mostly red paint in there. And that's pretty cool that we get some kind of detail. It's not bad. You can't really make out anything of what it is, but it does look good. Again, looking at the detail of the engine in there, you can see. Again, this side doesn't get as much because we don't get the same exhaust pipes, and then we get the two screws. But yeah, overall, Sky Cycle looks really nice. I really like it. It is very cool. And again, the stand, I am liking the stand a whole hell of a lot more than I initially was. I was probably super unfair to it. But yeah, it works out actually quite well. Okay, so you can do some fun stuff. You can have like Hawkeye standing on it on the Sky Cycle and getting ready to kind of shoot off an arrow. With the butterfly joint not being able to do any crossbody, it does hinder it a little bit. And then of course, the arrow is, he can kind of hold it in place, and it doesn't really work out too well. You can't really pull the string because it's not actual string. Okay, so here we have some of the different Hawkeye figures that have released. I don't have a loose one of the Vintage Wave 2, which was the better Hawkeye between this one and that other one. It had two like regular arms, not the Winter Soldier arm that's longer than the other one. But they were much darker in color compared to this classic Hawkeye, really from the West Coast Avengers, which Hasbro's really been building up this year, where they have the 5-pack coming up, which has another Tigra and Silver Centurion. We got that Wonder Man earlier. We had the retro-carded Scarlet Witch and Vision that were specifically titled as West Coast Avengers. So a lot of different West Coast Avenger focus. With it being the 60th anniversary of the Avengers this year, of course it would put a lot of focus there. We also have the Rocket Raccoon Build-A-Figure Wave Hawkeye figure there. This new one is easily the best out of all of the Hawkeye figures. But it also has the benefit of being brand new compared to the other ones that use Bucky Cap, which at the time, really good figure. Still holds up decently, but it's just been used so many times. It's really time to move on. And I'm glad that this Hawkeye figure really doesn't use any of the parts and pieces from the other figures at all to really give us a new Hawkeye figure, which is awesome. The Sky Cycle is really, really nice. I tried comparing some pictures between the comics and like the Captain America and the Avengers video game and stuff. And it's pretty comic accurate. Obviously some of the design choices are a little bit different, but it does hold up and look really good. The Hawkeye figure, again, is pretty awesome. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this Hawkeye figure, your thoughts on the Sky Cycle. I think it's pretty coal. It can add to your Riders collection, or just add to your West Coast Avengers or your Avengers shelves, or however you guys display your figures, and could be really nice. Make sure to check out toysnowman.com. Again, they are based in Canada. They get all the Marvel Legends, all the Black Series, all the Lightning Collection, all of the G.I. Joe Classified series. They also get a bunch of import figures and everything like that. So all your action figure needs, check out toysnowman.com. My referral link is in the video description below. It gets you a 5% off coupon code for first-time buyers, so make sure to check them out. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.